Hello and welcome to Salt All the Things. Today we're going to construct an entire mansion out of salt blocks while a toddler runs around with a spray bottle. Just kidding. I'm Rocket. That's Trog.
Hey, everybody.
We're going to talk about, shocker, World of Warcraft. Woohoo! Trog, how's your week?
Oh, it's been really good, actually. I gotta say, I like the joke today because it sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, I think that's actually one I added myself because yes, it is experiential.
How have you been doing, Rocket?
It's been an okay week. It's been interesting in game land. I've gotten quite a few things like almost accomplished or, on the point of being accomplished. And then a few things that I found out I haven't been working on that I probably should have.
I had a really great time with our raid last night. We're recording on a Thursday instead of a Tuesday, so we got through our Wednesday farm raids. We did all the normals. We cleared out March on normal, so we're officially just focusing on heroic from here on out.
Yeah, seeing as how the raids themselves have been less than friendly in terms of dropping stuff for our raid team, I feel like with how quickly we were getting through some of the normal boss encounters, there's no need to do them anymore at this point. We should be trying for the higher versions, and if people want to do normals, we can do that like as time allows on the side or with a pug.
It was kind of funny when we killed the dude from Dream Rift last night intentionally to get the trinket, and that, of course, it didn't drop.
Of course. It dropped the other trinket, the useless one.
Nobody wants. Of course. That's always how it goes.
So, yeah, we did, what was it? We did Dream Rift, normal, then heroic, back to back. And then we did last couple bosses on Void Spire, normal. And then we swapped gears. And we did the newest raid, the March, which was really fun.
That was really fun.
That. I don't know if any other guilds or players have had this experience, but we completely pushed it so fast that we didn't even get the final phase.
That was crazy for the first time we ever saw that. We wiped, 4 times, I think, at the beginning as we were figuring out the patterns and...
Well, let's be real. The first pull was a show YOLO pull, so we were gonna die no matter what.
See, I wasn't even to blame Show for that. That was all Trog. Show was like, "Should we just do one pull?" I'm like, "Yes, right now."
Yeah, Show's the one who asked. I'm like, Show, you're the leader. Don't ask, just do. We'll follow.
But it was pretty cool when we as soon as we figured out those first mechanics, we beat the whole fight.
Yeah.
The beginning part of that fight is the entire fight, it seems like, or at least
for the
on
most
normal.
part until that last phase, which we didn't see. But I'm guessing that in heroic we will be able to see it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll wipe a few more times heroic.
And then yours truly spent a good portion of our kill time, the boss kill, licking the floor because of something he didn't see. So that was
to your credit, Rocket, there was an awful lot of void all over the floor. We needed somebody to contain it.
You're welcome. Happy to be of service.
Well, Rocket, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, we were originally going to focus on just a housing project that I've been working on with my kid, but we kind of decided to, wisely, I might add, bundle it in with another topic, and that is, we're gonna call it Baby's First Raid Farm. And the idea is I'm at that point in my life, and Trog, I know in the past you've had young kids who you've wanted to play games with and stuff, and it's kind of around the philosophy of how do I get my kid to engage with the thing that I enjoy in a safe way.
Yeah, I like this topic because this is, I've been gaming my whole life. And when I did start to have kids, that became the question of when do I start introducing them to games and how do I share the thing that I love so much with my kids and be able to do another thing with them. So I love this topic.
Right. Yeah. And, for me, it's about doing something together versus just like, hey, here's the thing I like. Here, you should try it. I feel like doing something together at first will bring us closer, and it already has. I mean, she's having a great time doing our little project. So
Yeah, it really does. It's man, that's like one of those life lessons that you don't always know when you're a new parent, but all kids really want to do is be involved.
Spend time.
They want to spend time with you. They want to talk with you. They want to engage in things that you are passionate about because they look up to you, and that's what they want to do. So it's always good.
The cradle and the silver. Okay, I can't sing. I can't sing the whole thing because we'll have to pay for it. But
yeah, we ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah, not yet. But yeah, I know we haven't really touched on Auction House in a long time. That is something that's just kind of fallen off to the wayside as we're more focused on raid and group content and stuff at the moment. But is there anything fun in game that has happened to you this past week besides the raiding?
I continue to be frustrated about Prey. I know we've got another topic where we'll talk about that at some point. But
Trog.
It's not hard. It's cheap. That's what drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Parts of it do feel like cheap shots and bad timing all the time.
Man, for the week, like my high point was definitely the raid last night. Like everything else has just been kind of doing my daily world quests and things like that. But that raid last night, that was a blast and we did awesome. And I'm so proud of our raid team, like just how fast we're knocking this stuff out.
Yeah, I gotta say, for having to recruit and get a bunch of new members into our core, raid team, everyone's coming together and we seem to be meshing for the most part really easily. And everyone has like the same overall goal, I think, which is to try to get through as much of the new stuff as possible, as quickly as possible, but to do so as a team.
And fairly low on the drama. To any of our newer members that are listening to this, like shout out to you guys, because we're doing really good, and I think our new members are a big part of that.
Yeah, for sure. Some highlights of the week. I mean, I haven't really been doing much in housing, but so one fun thing that happened that I want to make sure I mention is last night after the raid, there was a weekly quest in Silvermoon on Tuesday to invite people to your house. So the whole raid team was basically invited to Rocket's house, and I got to give kind of an impromptu tour to people who'd never seen it. And it was really cool to just kind of like hear people in Discord discovering the things that I've built, or, they'd be like, how's your house floating? I'm like, man, that's actually like, that's the easiest part of my whole process. Like my house defies the laws of physics. It's kind of very Doctor Who-y in that way. It's floating and it has a mining tunnel somehow. And you know why? Because science.
I really love your house. You've done so many creative things there. And it was really awesome after the raid last night where we all like worked hard to get new bosses down. We were clearing stuff. We've cleared a bunch of times just for the drops. Like it was a good team effort. And then to hear everybody get to kind of like check out your house and discover all this cool stuff you're doing. That was a really nice time last night.
Yeah. It's, it's one of those things that has been introduced to the game that I really feel is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's fostering that feeling of camaraderie. Like, hey, come hang out at my pad for a minute. Let me show you some of the cool stuff I've made. That kind of thing.
I could definitely see that. And it's given you and I something to argue about all the time.
Oh, because we need more. Poor Trog. I'm just going to call you the housing grump.
The housing grump? I don't know
yeah.
about grump. Come on.
Well, no, you're not very grumpy about it except when I talk about it and you have nothing to say.
Well, that's why we had to rework this episode.
Yeah.
To give Trog something to talk about.
I'm glad that we were able to bundle it together, because I feel like both things go hand in hand. Like, my reason for doing that project in the first place is because of our, main topic. Should we just dive right into it?
Well, I do want to give a shout out. If anybody's had this experience of trying to introduce your kids to the game, or even a family member or a significant other, we'd love to hear from you guys and tell us how it went with you. What were the ups and downs? What happened that you didn't expect? Did something like really catch with them? I am probably going to talk a little bit more than just about kids today, because I think the whole nature of introducing somebody you care about to something that is a long-term passion like this always comes with interesting little moments.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just kids. It could be friends. It could be family, people outside of the game that you're trying to, like, convince to give it a shot and, play it with you. Like, I have an old friend of mine who his involvement with WoW has been very minimal in the past. I think I told you the story, Trog, where when he first started playing WoW, he came upon, he played Alliance, so you may not know of this NPC, but there's an NPC in Elwyn Forest called Remy Two Times. And to this day, I'll never forget it, because my buddy Matt, shout out Matt, he's like, should I really pick up this quest from this guy? I don't know if I should trust him. His name's Remy Two Times. And I'm like, does he have an exclamation mark over his head? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then take the quest, dude.
There are moments like that game, though. Like, I think you and I were talking when we were doing the Prey. We were doing it separately, but we were chit-chatting while we were doing it. And I'm like, dude, this guy giving us the Prey quest just constantly wants us to, like, kill people and, like, draw their pain out. This just, like, why are we taking quests from this dude? He seems like a bad dude.
He's like a vampire emo.
Emo elf vampire.
Yeah, it's like... And, I still am of the opinion that we're going to have to fight him some way, shape, or form. He's either going to be like the final Prey boss, kind of like, the Delve Nemesis. He'll be the Prey Nemesis. Or he's going to end up in like one of the labyrinths, and we'll have to fight him.
Oh man, I'm actually kind of really hoping for that. Having this dude become like the Delve boss for a season, like maybe the last season, and put that Prey system like integrated a little bit into the Delves for that season or something.
Can you imagine having to deal with a clone while doing a Delve?
Oh man.
Kill for me now.
And there's not critters everywhere, so you're really screwed.
Right. Things actually have health pools.
Oh man, that would be cool. But yeah, I totally get that perspective, and I've had that when I've played with friends who aren't really big gamers as well, and they're like taking it from the literal kind of story perspective,
right?
Because there's a lot of gamification inside WoW, where the story does not really align to what you're actually doing with the mechanics.
Right. But yeah, it's just something I'll never forget. It's one of those moments that, quite frankly, it was really endearing, and I kind of chuckled at the time. I'm like, yeah, dude, just take the quest, man.
But it's the kind of thing that does, like, engage you when you're thinking in that way, when you're thinking like it. It's weird that it's an MMORPG, but the RPG elements sometimes are so light they're not even there.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. For a long time, WoW has fallen off of the RPG-ness. It's been more of a solo game for a long time.
Except for weirdos who like to play elves.
Yeah. Don't get me started on the elves, man.
Well,
why don't you... The whole wrap-up of that storyline has left me kind of unsatisfied.
Oh, we have different feelings about that, because I enjoyed it, actually.
I enjoyed it, but, like, I kind of get where a lot of players right now who have had a Blood Elf for a long time, I'm not invested in it, but I can understand their investment. A lot of them are like, what's the point?
Well, what I saw out of that cutscene was like Quel'Thalas is now the kingdom of the elves, right?
Of the elves, yeah. I kind of like that idea. But can we kick the Suramar people out of there? Because they suck.
So the if that is the kingdom of the elves, I'm kind of curious on, Quel'Thalas has been invaded more than once.
Right.
Right? Oh, the biggest thing from the story I think that caught me was there was all that talk in the lead off about abandoning these giant, like, magical fonts that the elves have always used to extend their lifespans and, have an easier life. And they were all like, we need to stop this. And then everybody contributes to to turn the Sunwell back into one of those things.
That was a little weird. Like, I don't understand if the Dawnwell, because, sorry, everybody, if you...
oh, yeah, this is spoilerific.
Spoiler alert ahead. The Sunwell becomes the Voidwell, which then becomes the Dawnwell at the end of the storyline. And I'm not sure if it, like, holds any magical power anymore, or if it's more symbolic at this point.
Yeah, they did do a good job of explaining that in the cinematic.
So I guess maybe we'll find out. But, like, yeah, it's really weird to have someone the whole time we're doing the quest to try to bring the elves together, basically reminding us all the times that, the Sunwell screwed everything up for everybody.
Rightfully so. It really has been a problematic area.
Wrong. She's not wrong.
Well, I have to make my stupid joke, Rocket. Well.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. Oh, that was brutal. All right. Moving on.
That was definitely a side quest we did not plan for.
Yeah, that's one I could have done without. So, what are some of the things, and I can spitball a few, but like, what are some of the things where WoW has introduced things in game that maybe aren't aimed at, kids or, let's say, noobs to the game, but are definitely something that somebody new or somebody young could engage with easily? And I'll throw one out there, and to me, it's pet collecting and pet battling, which sadly, the battling doesn't happen so much anymore. But collecting pets in the Pokemon system is one for sure.
Yeah, I would submit actual just dungeon running in general, and I don't mean like Mythic Plus, like hardcore dungeons.
No,
I remember. I mean, my kids are quite a bit older than your kid, right? All of mine are adults. They're mostly leaving the house now. So I was playing with them 10 plus years ago. But one thing, I always talk fondly of Wailing Caverns. And part of the reason is when at one point, all of my kids got on and tried it together with me and my ex. And
aww,
we had such a good time. We were doing things like Wailing Caverns and the other really low-level dungeons. And it was fun to watch the kids explore. And I ended up tanking, and my ex was healing, so the kids were the DPS. And they were just running around. And it wasn't like there was nothing significant going on, right? Like, I was a competent enough tank that I could keep myself alive, and I could keep aggro of things.
Right. They could literally do whatever they want.
There wasn't really any like opportunity for mistakes and like disappointment. So my kids all got to kind of experience the wonder of walking into one of those dungeons, seeing the decorations, seeing kind of the labyrinth that something like Wailing Caverns is, and get to see all the monsters and the bosses. And like, that's the side of WoW that I think is good. It's just all in all good. When we start layering all this other stuff on top of it, starts getting confusing. But if you just like pick up a weapon, pick up some armor, and go into a low-level dungeon run with your family and just experience that for the first time, right? I remember how excited my oldest son was. He was a hunter, and he found his own hunter pet and trained it, and he was so excited to watch it in the dungeon.
That hits me where I live, man.
I know. It was so happy for him.
So for those who aren't aware, not only do I have a huge problem with choosing a main tune to play, on my hunter, I have a huge problem with constantly swapping out which pets I use. So I have many favorite pets, and I actually just got a couple new ones today. I got some dark colored not hawk striders. What are those called?
Dragon hawks?
Dragon hawks from Eversong Woods.
It's funny, that used to have a consequence, like constantly wanting to jump your pet around because you had to level it, you had to like bring up its happiness.
You had to train it, and you had to feed it, and now there's just like, whatever. Yeah. And you can like go to the stable and change it from a tanking pet to a ferocity pet to a cunning pet just with a click of a button. Whereas before, like each pet was stuck as to what it could do.
I know, it's just a skid now, right?
Right? And again, that goes back to our previous discussion of like, why can't they just be account wide now? But yeah, so like I get that hits me where I live. The feeling of getting your first hunter pet, I'll never forget it. Mine actually was an Alliance side tiger out in the Night Elf area. I was really proud of being able to find that and tame it.
Oh, but, mine was that white turtle from Wailing Caverns.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny how often that thing comes up for me.
The white turtle?
No, just Wailing Caverns in general. It seriously is one of my favorite places in WoW.
I'm with you though. Like a lot of, I think, what has been not necessarily forgotten, but like not emphasized as much is just that feeling of like, whoa, I'm going into a dungeon. I'm going to clear this out. Like Wailing Caverns, Black Fathom Deeps, the old school stuff had that feeling of like, I probably shouldn't be in here, but I'm going to do it,
So let me ask you, I know when I considered having my kids try it, it was when they were already playing like video games on the consoles and stuff. And so I knew that they could do the basics of the video game, right? Move around, click buttons to shoot and select targets and stuff. So I think my youngest, my little girl, she was probably a little young for the experience, but my boys were, I don't know, 12, 10 years old, maybe a little bit older. What's been that trigger point for your kid that makes you think that maybe she's ready to partake in your hobby?
Well, quite frankly, she's been bugging me to want to try to play WoW. And that was kind of the impetus of nudging me into like, okay, how do I do this? But do it in a, I hate using the word safe because it's not like I'm afraid of her. I'm afraid of like encountering some of the let's say less than savory elements of playing online games. I mean, we all know it exists,
of course.
And filters and timers and limiting access and stuff will only go so far. At the end of the day, I want to be involved because, again, it's something that we're doing together, father and daughter. So to me, that really is important. But she actually came to me like about a year or so ago and wanted to start playing, and I wasn't ready for it. So, I came up with this idea with the new housing system as like, hey, this would be a really cool way. Because originally, Trog, I think I told you, my plan was to get her to do my mount farming for me. I'm done doing this every week. You get to do this for me now.
Oh, man. My very first experience with my oldest son in WoW, I was just I was fishing on one screen while in work meetings on the other. And he came up to me and he's like, I want to help. And I'm like, okay, well, you can click here and catch fish. and that's where he like fell in love with the hunter the first time because I was on my hunter and I had my little turtle pet. He's like, can I feed the fish to the turtle, Dad?
Gosh, I wish. But so that was my original plan, was to get her to be my mount farmer. But then, like I said, midnight came along, and it kind of got my brain working and the juices flowing, as to like formulating a plan of like, okay, this is how you and I can enjoy this thing that I love together, and you can be involved by coming up with, dude, she has come up with some really cool ideas, like very minimal prompting from me. She will just go off on a tangent and be like, I want to do this. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can make that happen, but let's do it.
And that's part of the joy of sharing this hobby with your loved ones, right? When they get something out of it or see something that maybe you don't see, because they haven't been like glued into the framework of this game for so long, they're going to come at it from a different place. And that's a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, it's always refreshing, kind of like that Remy 2 times story that I shared. It's like seeing it through fresh eyes makes me reappreciate and think back to like my experiences with original vanilla WoW, and how excited I was when the new expansion was coming, and oh my gosh, the first time I loaded up the Wrath of the Lich King and saw that login screen, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be epic.
Yeah, that was really epic.
I can't wait. And then like doing regular questing and bumping into Arthas and wondering, okay, is he going to kill me while I'm just doing a quest? This is crazy.
So I'll say if I was bringing kids through now, I think a couple of the tools they've added in the game that I would really enjoy is that the new player on-ramp, we haven't engaged with that since they re-released it, but we plan to do it soon and then talk about it as an episode.
That's going to be a fun day.
I actually think if we can arrange it, we should have your kid do some of that with us so we can kind of get that all new perspective from that.
I'll have to see if I can hook up multiple machines and just, I'll observe and record while she does.
Yeah, we should work that out, because that would be an interesting experience.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But what I would love is if I was doing this again with my kiddos, right? I would probably go through that new player experience, and then rather than doing all of the questing, because that's usually hard to do when you're trying to corral a group of people. But the delves, I mean, that sounds like a no-brainer way to like jump into the current content, actually play with the kids. They get to see a little bit of the story. They get to explore these little zones, and you don't have to do tier 11 when you're playing with the kiddos, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
lower it down.
The risk could be minimal. Just keep it, at a lower level.
Which is an awesome tool that Blizzard has given us, right? We can now do a little bit more customization of the difficulty level of the content we're doing, which makes it more open to sharing it with new players. Like if delves were all hard because it's only end-game content, it would be harder to bring people through it.
Make it harder, yeah. Harder to engage.
What's something else you think that Blizzard has added that is just kind of accidentally a tool that you can use for either introducing kids or maybe even other players?
Well, other than delves, housing, and pet battles, I think something that's often forgotten is the seasonal content, like the holiday events.
Oh, that's a good point.
Time, that is a good time to get people to, at least for a short period of time, log in, see the fun holiday stuff, and maybe they love it enough to stick around for the rest of the year,
what would be really cool with the holiday events is, I don't think I ever did this with my kiddos, but taking them through something like the Elders or the Candy Buckets, where you have to like go through all these different places, then you get to see the world too.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm actually thinking of doing that the next time the Hallows End thing rolls around, because I can just quickly make a low-level character, and she can level it up by getting all the candy buckets. And if she's a druid, that's the smartest way to do it. She can just fly from candy bucket to candy bucket.
Oh, she's not going to be a druid. She's going to be one of the fox people.
She's gonna, she wants to be either a Volpera, but she really likes axolotls, man. So
that's true. So she might chew a hair in here.
So you never know. But Yeah, I mean, I think the holiday events, even something as trivial to us as longtime players as the Dark Moon Fair, would be a great way to introduce somebody new and be like, here's kind of how the systems work without it being too punishing if you mess it up. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
out there, you've got the experience of doing daily quests. You have the profession stuff that you can do on the side. Plus, you even have the world boss out there that drops things. So it's like it kind of gives them a hint as like the bigger things to come.
And pet battles.
Yeah, pet battles too, man. And for warlocks, it's where you had to go out there to get all, well, at least to start the quest line to get all the different demon forms. So.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I did that in the middle of War Within. I didn't know what it was. I just picked it up and started doing it.
I think I remember you being like, "Hey, what's this quest out here?" I'm like, "Oh, buddy, you're ready. You're gonna love this."
So,
but, yeah.
The thing that I was hesitant to do when my kids were younger was bring them into things like PvP or raids at the time. Mythic Plus keys were not a thing back in that day.
Yeah, I feel like those are where the guardrails need to be, because that's where, quite frankly, the toxicity might be encountered.
Yeah, your average run-of-the-mill awfulness in group content.
Sadly, it's sprinkling over into stuff that, in my opinion is trivial and shouldn't matter this much to people. But like, did I tell you like what was happening in time walking dungeons recently? Like,
I don't think
people
so.
are so over the top, like controlling as to how they are run. And I'm like, so I was in there, I forget on which character. I think I was on my demon hunter, but I queued up as a tank and I was DPSing. And this dude went out of his way to be like, why is the demon hunter queued as a tank but doing DPS spec? And I'm like, I literally responded with, because it doesn't matter. And he kicked me from the group.
Trying to min-max a time walking run. That's
I'm like, dude, it's a time walking. We were doing just fine.
Yeah, it'd be different if you were like wiping the group because of your choice, but
right. Or it'd be different if it was a current dungeon or like a Mythic Plus or like, yeah, duh, I'm not going to do that there. But time walking is so trivial at this point that I could literally queue as a tank on a Ret Pally and get it done if I wanted to.
Oh, I have seen that actually. I've seen Arms Warriors and Ret Paladins.
Yeah, it's the same. So, like, come on, y'all. Can we just relax a little bit? We don't need to min-max a time-walking dungeon.
But that's that's the places where I see the real guardrails being needed. The addiction aspect, I did a similar thing with my kids when they were younger, is there was limited screen time. And generally we played WoW together, like as a family, and that's how we experienced that. And then they would not be playing without me on so that I could, like you said, give some level of supervision.
Yeah. And I think, Blizzard has enough guardrails for parents and playtime and stuff like that, that excuse me, I'm struggling to find my words here. If I wanted to like loosen the reins a little bit, I could do so and not really worry too much. I could put things in place where I'd be okay.
So you know what we should do, Rocket?
What's that?
We should have your kid join and tell us what she is excited about when she gets to start playing the game with you.
I think that's a good idea. Let me see if Ray wants to join. Are you going to say hi?
Hello.
Hey, Ray. Welcome to the podcast.
So, we have been talking about, like, what you're excited about and why you keep bugging me to want to play the game. Like, what things would you look forward to do? Not necessarily with housing. We'll talk about that in a second. But what things in the game would you like to do? If I were to say, hey, Ray, you can play WoW in 5 minutes, what would be one of the first things you would do? Talking to the mic.
One of the first things Well, what I think I would do first was at least try to get at least one pet.
So you'd want to play on a hunter like Dad? Interesting.
I told you, fox
there's
person.
Only room for one hunter in this family.
Tell her she made a good choice.
maybe I'll allow it. Trog says you made a good choice.
I mean, as long as she doesn't pick Paladin right off, I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're safe if she doesn't pick Paladin, right? So, like, what about the game interests you the most? Like, you've watched Daddy do his mount farming and things like that over, the last few years. I know you've been paying attention because you always are paying attention. Mm-hmm. What is something that you think you would like to do? What would you like to engage with in the game, other than being a hunter and taming a pet?
Honestly, now that there's housing, I do want to do more housing. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So really out of since we're on housing, you brought it up. I'll just piggyback off that. What are you most proud of that you came up with that we created together?
I'm most proud of the library that we did.
Yeah, the library? Okay. So for those who aren't aware, if you go to our YouTube, there's a whole series of Rocket and Ray building a house. And one of the rooms, I think it was one of the first things we did, is Ray decided she wanted to do like a giant library. And it really came out pretty spectacular. She came up with most of the design ideas. I just kind of did my best to make her dreams come true. Is there anything housing wise you would like to try? I know you mentioned something about like the seasonal stuff, right?
So about the seasonal stuff, I wanted to do a room for each season, like the springtime room.
Yeah, because
that's a good idea.
Got the cherry blossom trees. So my hope is in the future, if stuff becomes available either for purchase or through achievements in the game, that like I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do like a beach theme, a winter theme, just do different kinds of stuff.
Halloween theme, yeah.
Halloween would be great. Oh
yeah.
Man, we are big Nightmare Before Christmas fans, so I can't wait for a Halloween themed room.
A Halloween Christmas themed room.
No, not really.
Not really? Nothing else that you're really interested in playing? What, other than Hunter, what do you think your favorite class to play? You know what that means, right? So you've got like the Paladin, the Druid, you've got the Warlock, the Priest, the Mage. Mom plays a Mage.
Well, what does a Mage do, honestly?
It's a magic user.
Okay, then.
Yeah? Okay. Well, all right. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
From the mouth of my own spawn.
You can't even talk her into being the Druid. See?
Right? She goes straight for a hunter. She knows.
I do think the pet battles and the housing are good draws in for people who may not like action games, right? Like these are things that will appeal to maybe a different audience than WoW does, and maybe it'll slowly bring them into the dark side.
Well, and let's be real. Like so much of WoW is just quest after quest after quest. Okay, I got those quests done. Now to do another quest. I personally have been using housing as kind of like my downtime, my unwind time, or like if I log in. Usually, what happens is I'll take Ray to school, and then I'll log in afterwards because I'm awake on my day off, and I'll just do housing for an hour. It's it's trivial content, but it's fun for me and it's relaxing.
It will be pretty cool when they allow you to like save your layout. So if you make your perfect Halloween house, you can have it every year.
I'm so ready for that. And I think one thing I've spoken about before that I would like to see is one-click holiday overlays. Like have a vendor in your neighborhood where you can go and say, hey, it's Halloween. I want to have pumpkins everywhere. And you just click a button and it throws them on the outside of your house for you.
Preferably throws at high velocity so that they break on the house.
So they smash. just like real Halloween.
How much smashing are you doing on Halloween, sir?
It's not me. It's all the other people, man. Smashing pumpkins and that's a band name. Sorry. Hucking eggs at people's cars and doors.
You had a different
shenanigans.
You had a different Halloween experience than I did as a child, I believe.
So like every year, the day after Halloween is the worst cleanup day because everyone's pumpkins are smashed in the middle of the street where I was growing up.
So how long do you think after you get Ray addicted to housing and, she starts pet collecting, how long until you get her into a raid, do you think?
Ugh. That's a loaded question.
So, I'll tell kind of a guild history story here. So we've got a mage in the guild. I call him Arist. I think his in-game name is Zifa. So shout out to Arist. He joined the guild a long time ago. I think sometime early in Wrath, and he eventually introduced his son to the game, and that was Revenge.
Oh no!
So, yeah, so when Revenge joined us, he was pretty young. I think he was like 12 years old or something. He was pretty young when he first joined us, and he his dad would raid with us, but his dad was never really hardcore about it. But man, Revenge took to it, and he became one of our top DPSers like right away. He killed it. Like an example of introducing your kid to your hobby, and then the kid just like way overshoots you immediately.
That's what scares me. She's gonna be better at Hunter than I am.
Well, I mean, that's not a very high bar, sir. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Fair is fair.
Hey, I'm not a good hunter either. I don't even play my hunter anymore.
But so I think that's actually kind of around the age that I would be okay with that happening. She's 10 right now, so she'll be 11 in August.
Well, so then by the time the last Titan rolls around, it's time to get her in raids.
Yeah, she could be raiding with us in the last expansion of the trilogy.
We got to talk about that at some point too.
Yeah, man. I'm the saga. Yeah. But so that's always the question though, right? And it's kind of similar with like movies and TV. Like my wife and I have been trying to introduce her to things that we love, as she's been growing up and getting a little older. And let's just say it's not always a win. Like sometimes we'll be like, oh, this movie we love, and she watches it and she's just like, eh. And then other things like people dogged on it quite a bit, but I really enjoyed it, was the Star Wars show recently called Skeleton Crew. To me, it was like Star Wars meets the Goonies, and it was right up my alley. And it was something that she and I watched together, and Ray really enjoyed it. So, it's that fine line of how much of it is me wanting you to like the things that I like just because I like them, and how much of it is like, hey, I think this is important enough that you should, at least watch it once, kind of thing.
I do definitely think, when you want to share any kind of art with your kids or even a significant other or a friend, right? You always hope that they get out of it what you got out of it, and that's not always the case, unfortunately.
Sometimes it's just a rock.
Yeah. I think WoW has some really good stories. It has some really good character arcs, and it makes you think about things sometimes, or at least it certainly used to. I think maybe less so today. But you hope when you share that with kids, they'll feel those same emotional echoes from the art, and they'll get a part of it like what you get from it. I'm sure that goes in with you sharing Star Wars. Back when my boys were younger, sharing Star Trek with them was that thing, because I remember my dad sharing Star Trek with me, and it being one of the few things my father and I bonded over. And so sharing that with my sons and watching at least my older one get really into Star Trek was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun when there's something that you have, grown up with and come to love. When you see somebody fresh to it, love it as much or if not more than you, it gives you a renewed vigor for the thing, you know?
Yeah, seeing it through new eyes. That's always a fun way to experience art. I'm gonna tell a horrible parenting story right now.
Awesome. Those are the best.
So
I have tons of those.
A few years ago, when my daughter was still in high school, I started showing her Monty Python. So we watched the Holy Grail together.
No.
And we enjoyed it. And then I thought, you know what? I watched like Life of Brian when I was 16, but I don't really remember it.
Life of Brian.
So we're watching the movie, and it's kind of a slow movie, but it's funny, and we're kind of chit-chatting back and forth about like the things that they're poking fun at in that movie. And then we get to the end of the movie, and I'm like, oh,
song.
No, it was when he's in the town and his mother is chastising all the people, and he walks out, and it's just full frontal male nudity.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that part. I'm not the Messiah.
Oh, man, I totally forgot about it, and I'm sharing it with my 16-year-old daughter.
Awesome. Well parented.
I know, right? I'm the best. She still reminds me of that all the time.
Right? Thanks for sharing Life of Brian with me. So
thanks for the full frontal nudity, Dad.
While we're kind of on this topic, I want to reach out to anybody listening who has actually been able to successfully introduce, kids or somebody outside of, the whatever it is, like whether it be WoW or movies or TV shows or whatever. Kudos to you if you've been able to do it without frightening them away with your zeal for the thing. Because I feel like that's part of the issue I have is I'm so into it that I will bombard you with all the reasons why I like it instead of just being like, hey, you should try this. I really like it. It'll be, hey, you should try this. I really like it because blah, 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 blah. 20 minutes later, they're like, whoa, dude, I'm lost. That's way too much.
Your particular level of verbosity when you get passionate is similar to mine. And I think that's why we decided to do a podcast together.
Verbosity.
It's my favorite word.
Verbosity. That's going to be my favorite word of the day now. But yeah, so like, again, kudos if you've been able to introduce them to the thing that you love and are passionate about without making them run for the hills, because it's a balancing act and I haven't quite mastered it yet.
It is. It is a balancing act. I do hope like your kiddo finds some of the joy that you find in this game, either in the collections or running dungeons. I am still, like every week, I try to talk my middle son into raiding with us. He has a Death Knight. He's even already in the guild, but I just can't seem to talk him into it. Someday, maybe.
Oh, do you think peer pressure would work, or would that make him run further?
Oh, no, that would definitely make him run further.
Okay, well, then I won't peer pressure. I'll be like, come on.
I'm an introvert, but he makes me look like an extrovert.
Wow. All right, enough said. I was just going to like politely whisper and be like, hey, man, we could always use a dedicated death grip.
That's what I keep telling him. We needed another Death Knight. Multiple Death Knights.
All the death grips.
So Rocket, I do have to ask.
Uh-oh.
Where is our sprinkle of salt for the week? Like, you can't expect Trog to do it all the time.
That's true. I mean, it is called Salt All the Things, and I guess technically I am the host, so I should be the salty one. Okay, so this is something that kind of plays to what I was talking about at the top of the show, everybody. There were a few things that I have either almost completed or completed already, and I'm feeling very, accomplished and happy with that. But there's something that I bumped into that I guess I had just neglected. And that's the dumb console out there in Voidstorm. I walked past the dude so many times because he has the, exclamation mark over him. but it's marked as just a regular trivial quest. And like everything else out there, I've done it all already once on somebody else. I didn't think it was something I needed to do. Come to find out, I'm like 4 or 5 weeks behind on the dumb console because of it. So that's my sprinkle of personal salt, is now there's actually something that Trog is ahead of me on, and I'm not okay with it.
Oh, well, I'm also usually ahead of you on the meter, so, there's that. Oh, man.
Actually, if we want to be real, one of those boss fights, I was ahead of you until the very end because I started getting targeted with everything.
That's how I felt on that bird fight. I was like doing really good, and like the first
wow,
one of
I'm
the
parsing really well. I'm like number 4 on the list, and then all of a sudden I have to move for the next 5 minutes constantly.
I know the first time they did that color wheel thing where you have to keep moving towards the light or dark. I think I moved once the entire time. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just pumping here, just killing this boss. And then the second time when we were like on the edge of killing him there, and I'm like, oh crap, now why am I having to move every 2 seconds?
So I was like really accomplished. I was feeling proud. I was sort of looking at the meter because I have it down at the bottom of my screen, out of the way, but I can still glance at it. But I was like, wow, I'm actually beating Trog. I'm happy. Yay. And then like a minute later, like not even, Trog's like blasted past me. And all I see are the freaking laser beams from the sky everywhere. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, man. I love the laser beams from the sky. They're the best.
One of these days, I'm going to have to get you to teach me how to boomy, sir, because it looks like hecka fun, and I just can't wrap my brain around it.
Well, I wish I could teach you anything, but me being a one-button player.
Oh, yeah. Can we all just agree that people can just play the game however they want, and we really shouldn't, look down on people who use the one button? Because quite frankly, I think that's how I'm going to teach my kid how to play.
So I've actually built a bar to do it without the one button, and it's like 9 buttons, and I'm looking at it going, why do I want to go from 4 buttons back to 9? But
because you don't have the extended GCD. That's why.
The other thing that annoys me is, since the one button is what it is, right? It does not perfectly align the cooldowns like would be optimal for me. So often my trees and that other big ability that I use go out of sync with each other. And if you see my damage really high for a while and then it starts to fall, that's because those 2 cooldowns have gone out of sync and I can't maintain that level of damage anymore. So that's more why I've been thinking about it, because I see where it's suboptimal and I know that I could fix it.
Well, yeah, and your brain and wanting to design systems to do things, that makes a lot of sense. I would venture to say that it needs another pass of fine tuning.
Oh, most definitely. So the thing about the one button cooldown after the patch, right after the expansion came out, they added, at least for the Moonkin, they added my cooldowns to it, whereas before one of the cooldowns was in it. 2 of the cooldowns, but not the third. Now it's all 3 of them. But one of them, the trees, doesn't actually ever come up in the rotation. So I still have to do that one manually, which is fine. I'm fine to do cooldowns that are like longer than 45 seconds. I don't think should be in the one button anyway.
Right, I agree with that.
So that's partly why it's kind of wonky, because some of the abilities that are in the one button don't even work. And so, but the other ones do. So it's hitting those cooldowns when the one button thinks it should hit them, not when they're actually needed when my trees are up. So yeah, it's all of that. The system designer in me, I appreciate the one button because it makes it easier for me to raid, and I can pay attention to raid leading and mechanics and all that. But on the other side, it's wildly inefficient, and that drives me nuts.
Yeah. Like I've even got the button assist highlight on. And sometimes the one button rotation will be telling me to do something that is not one of the things that's highlighted. So I'll actually hit the highlighted thing before I go to the one button.
Yeah, that
I found out I'm missing out on Cobra shots quite a bit because I was shout out to Trog, by the way. I was checking like my damage meters and my parses from the raid last night against the other BM hunter in the raid, trying to figure out why we're either neck and neck or there's a vast difference depending on what we're fighting and how the fight goes. So come to find out, it's because I'm not hitting Cobra shot because it doesn't come up in the one button that much.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think the one button, they did something in the expansion launch that it was working better before the expansion, because I played all of the tunes with the one button rotation. Yeah. And I kind of understand where it works better on some classes, where it works less on other classes. And for Boomkin, that's one of the reasons I made that choice, because it did it really well. They had the right cooldowns left out of it. It cycled through and changed between, your single target versus your multi-target really smoothly. I'm like, that one of the reasons I picked the Moonkin is because it was such a good fit for the one button rotation. And now I'm finding that
penalties weren't that bad.
Yeah, for ranged they aren't, because you're casting anyway, and usually your casts are longer than the extended global cooldown, so you're not really losing anything, unlike melee people who most of their buttons are press and go, and then the cooldown actually means something to them.
Right. Building your combo points, that kind of thing.
But when they kind of broke the one button at the expansion, I can top the meter, but the longer the fight goes on, the more out of sync my abilities go, and then just the lower my damage goes. So I hope that they continue to work on that system and improve it, because otherwise I'm going to have to go back to 9 buttons, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like we've, covered the topic pretty well, but kind of as a bookend, I'm just going to put it out there that, like, my focus, at least for the near future in terms of playing with Ray in World of Warcraft, is to continue our housing project, because that's going really well. Maybe start introducing her into how to actually participate in some mount farms, and maybe taking her through some delves and seeing if she likes it. Who knows? Maybe when we do our new player experience, she can make a low-level hunter and just play through the game, and we'll get her kind of experience with that for our show.
I think that would be kind of cool. I think what we need to do is one of us be tank, the other one be healer, and have her be DPS, and then we can just like do dungeons with a little 3-man group. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I've been itching for an excuse to be my bear anyway, so there we go.
Well, let's do a sneak peek of the next episode, because I'm really excited about the next one.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me, but I think... Oh, yes. Okay.
How did you forget? Man.
All right. Well, everybody, so it's going to be a little weird, because in the middle of this, we're going to have... the 0.5 patch has been announced for the 21st. But we have a 3-part series coming up where we are going to have guests from our guild come in and give insights as to the different roles that they bring to our team. And the first one, quite frankly, is really exciting. We will get to hail the chosen one. Showdoom, our raid tank and Mythic Plus tank, will come in and give kind of his state of tanking as a whole, and like what's going well and what's not. So I'm really excited for that.
I am too. And we to all the people there, the sausage, to all our listeners, the sausage making process. When Rocket pitched this idea to me, the first thing that went through my head was, next up on a very special episode of Salt All the Things.
So
it sounded like we're going to talk about Show's drug addiction.
Let's do it properly. Next time on Salt All the Things, a very special episode. Wah, wah, wah. Showdoom will partake in the episode and give us insights into the wonder that is tanking as a prot paladin. La la la.
As a holy cow.
He is our golden cow. We follow him into battle.
He really is.
But yeah, that's exciting news. And hopefully everyone else is having a good time at midnight. But I feel like that is a good spot to wrap it up. Trog, any other saltiness we need to add to that dead horse?
Oh, no. I think we have salted it aplenty.
Awesome. Until next time, everybody, I'm Rocket. That's Trog.
Bye, everybody.
Stay salty.